for today, let's start with the definition of a queue. A queue is a waiting line of customers. And again, when you talk about customers, we already know, di ba? We visit a particular establishment because we want a particular service. We require a particular service from that establishment. Okay? So if the number of customers exceed, okay, if the number of customers exceed the capacity of the servers in that establishment, then a queue will start to build up. Okay? So ibig sabihin, if your servers, if you have a lot of servers in an establishment, marami nagpo-provide ng service, konti ang customers, kayang-kaya nung capacity ng servers to provide the service, okay, for the customers. Okay? And therefore, there will be no waiting line. There will be no queue. However, if you have limited number of servers and a lot of customers coming into your establishment, and to a point that each of your servers are already occupied, okay, and there are still customers coming in, then that's the time that a queue or a waiting line will actually build up. Okay? So sabi nito, a queue forms whenever existing demand or arriving customers exceeds the existing capacity of your service facilities or your servers. Okay? So now, this topic, queuing theory, is actually a study of different waiting line systems. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of queue configurations, there are a lot of characteristics, a lot of disciplines among customers joining the queue, and all of these come together to make up what we call a waiting line system. So different characteristics, different configurations, different service facilities would tend to make up a different waiting line system. So for queuing theory, we would try to study some of these waiting line systems with some assumptions, of course, since we are going to be deriving formulas and models out of reality. Okay, then we need to have certain assumptions in order to build these models. Okay, so that is what queuing theory is all about. And just to give you a perspective, these models, just like the LP models that you built in your IE per 1 class, okay, these models are intended to produce results or to produce answers that would help the owners of these queuing systems come up with decisions. Okay, decisions as to, okay, how many ATM machines do I put up? How many cashier lanes do I open up at certain times of the day? How many uh, counters do I open up for a fast food? Okay, these are some of the decisions that owners have to make depending on the queuing system or the waiting line system that they have. Okay, so again, once we are able to derive these models and come up with certain formula to calculate certain uh, parameters, then we should be able to make decisions out of these calculations. That's the goal of queuing theory. Okay, so to start, let's study the structure of a queuing model. Okay, so the following will be the structure. Now we start with the arriving units. Okay, this would be the first. And of course, the arriving units would come from a source. Okay, this is what you call your calling source. This is source means it is where your arrivals or your arriving customers come from. Okay, so we will study these one by one in the next slides. Okay, so you have your arriving units or your arrival process. Once you enter, okay, once you enter this queuing system, this box here, Okay, once you enter this queuing system, then you will be able to see as a customer what the queue and service disciplines are. Okay, we will discuss one by one what the configuration is, what the what the different queue disciplines are, what the different service disciplines are. Okay, and once you are able to see and observe the different queue configurations and service disciplines, you now, okay, the arriving customers will now actually avail of the service. These are the servers in the system. Okay, they are the servers in the system. So once the customer approaches this part, that means that they are already being served. And once they're served, they depart from the system. So the whole structure of a queuing model starts with an arriving customer. Okay, you enter the system, and then until you exit the system, until you depart. Okay, so arrival up to departure. That's the entire queuing system. So let's discuss one by one. So for the arrival process, okay, these are the things that the realities that we can see. Okay, those are the realities that we can see. First is the calling source. Okay, the calling source may be single or multiple. It may be finite or it may be infinite. Okay, so example of single calling source. When you say single calling source, that's the source of your arriving population. So if you talk about let's say an establishment outside, let's say McDonald's, for example, in any city, for example, McDonald's, customers will arrive from different sources. Agree? Regardless of where it is.
Agree, sir.
The customers can arrive from different sources. If the McDonald's branch is, let's say, in Quezon City, the customers, the calling source or the population is not restricted to Quezon City residents. You can have people all the way from the south, okay, visit that particular branch when they're there. Okay, and hence we say that that example uh, of McDonald's has a calling source that has multiple populations. Multiple populations. And if I classify it further, okay, I can say that since they have multiple populations as a calling source, then in a way, okay, there are just too many possible customers who can come and visit that branch. And hence, I can now classify it as an infinite calling source. Okay, for that example, I can classify it as multiple population and an infinite calling source. Okay? So, ang dami kasi pwedeng pumunta doon. Now, consider another example. Let's say we limit, okay, we limit the calling source. And let's say that we talk about payment of fees in Lasal. Okay? Try to recall yung physical face-to-face classes na days nyo before. Okay? When you have to go physically to Lasal and do all your transactions there. So, naalala nyo ba that at some point you needed to line up sa accounting to pay your fees or your dues? Did you have to? Kasi alam ko enrollment is done online, pero actual payment is done physically, di ba? Did you have to line up?
Yes, sir.
You did?
Yes, sir. Alala ko,
Okay.
yes.
So considering that you have to line up, then there's a queue. There's a queuing system there, di ba? So now, if you now look into that queuing system sa accounting department ng Lasal, what do you think is the calling source? Is it a single population or multiple population?
Sir, can we consider it multiple kasi may madaming year levels, yung freshman,
Pwede,
senior.
no? Depende sa perspective. If you look at freshman as a population, sophomore as a population, or even college as a population, yung different colleges where the queue can come from, no? Then multiple yon, no? But if you look at it from the perspective na okay, yung population ko would be LaSalle students lang, okay, na magbabayad ng fees nila. Or kahit na faculty, kasi may faculty students din tayo, so LaSalle students and faculty lang ang pwedeng calling source niyan. So isang population lang yan. Okay, galing lang sa LaSalle. Hindi yan pwede manggaling sa Ateneo, for example, unless of course there's an Ateneo graduate who's studying in LaSalle and has to pay for the fees, di ba? Pero LaSalle student na siya, classified, not Ateneo anymore. Gets nyo? So it can be single population if you consider the entire DLSU studentry and faculty as one population. It can be multiple population if you consider the different colleges where the students and faculty come from as a population. Pero the calling source now, if I ask you, is it finite or infinite?
Sir, depende sa time period. Kasi if you go indefinitely, there will be infinite students. Well, technically. Pero pag within the year lang, magiging finite.
Again, yung first na sinabi mo, if you
parang, let's say indefinitely, you would have
no time frame.
Yeah, infinite amount of students naman mapapasok ang lalabas ng DLSU.
Okay.
Pero
okay.
pag 1 year lang, I would say finite.
Yes. Pag one term lang, then it's finite.
Yes.
Di ba? Okay. So therefore, that's an example where the calling source can actually be from a single population and finite. So again, these are realities, no? Later on, when we derive the queuing models, okay, we will assume the greater reality, which is infinite. Infinite yung calling source mo. Pwedeng manggaling kahit saan. Okay? But for now, we are just trying to present the different realities that exist when we actually describe different queuing systems that are observable. Okay? So, yun yung A and B. Letter C, okay, let me discuss letter D first. Letter D. Okay? There are queuing systems where there are control of arrivals exercised. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang yan, kung mapapansin nyo, there are queuing systems that would allow anyone to just line up. For example, ATM machine. Okay? Wala namang security guard dyan, usually. Di ba? So, in any location, unless restricted ka by space, kunyari, isang room lang yan, and therefore, meron ka talagang limit, di ba? Pero pag wala, pagka nasa open space yan, anyone can just join the queue and line up to withdraw money from an ATM machine. Tama? In that case, we say that there is no control of arrivals exercised by the queuing system. There's absolutely no control. Okay? Even in banks, even in fast food, di ba? May physical limitation yung space. Pero kapag merong gustong pumila para bumili ng hamburger or chicken, or may gustong pumila para mag-deposit or mag-withdraw, for as long as hindi pa closing time, hindi pa cut-off time, they would allow the person to fall in line. Kahit na lumampas na ng entrance door, hanggang sa kalsada na yung pila, i-allow pa rin nila. Okay? Such is the case in MRT, LRT before, di ba? They would allow people to line up and wait. Okay? They could put restriction doon sa papasok mismo doon sa train station, pero doon sa labas, pwedeng maghintay hanggang kalsada. Okay? So again, the no control is wala ka talagang restriction. You just allow people to line up, okay, and enter your system. Yun yung no control. Yung partial, yan yung kagaya sa LRT. You allow people to line up. I don't know if you're taking the LRT now, some of you. But you allow people to line up, pero at some point, you exercise control. May mga pinapapasok ka doon sa platform, sa train station. Okay, tapos intay yung mga ibang nakapila hanggang kalsada. Tapos a certain batch na naman, papasok na naman ulit. Partial control yon. Pag total control naman, exercised by the queuing system, ibig sabihin, if it reaches a certain number, you stop. Okay? You do not admit anymore any customer, any arriving customer. You stop. Hindi mo na talaga papapasukin doon sa system. Okay? So, such is the case when you have a restriction in the number of, in the space that you have. And also, meron kang restriction doon sa mga servers mo na 1:1 lang isa-serve nila. Okay? So, pwede ka nang umalis kapag dumating ka. Kunya, there are 10 servers. Okay? 10 servers lang. Tapos, may 10 na sa loob, stop na. Okay, pwede ka nang umalis. Now, kapag may umalis doon sa loob ng system, ng queuing system mo, may umalis na dalawa, then mag-a-admit ka na naman uli ng dalawa. Pwede ka na naman uli mag-admit ng dalawa. Okay, pero hindi ka na magpapapila. Okay, so ibig sabihin, the first two that comes will get in and then wala na naman ulit. Okay, so again, these systems vary depending on the servers that they have, and of course on the system that they want to exercise. That's letter D. Okay. Letter C, single or bulk arrivals may occur. This is something observable. Okay, letter C, this one. This is something observable, and it has something to do with arrival patterns. Similarly, okay, when you look at letter E and letter F, they all talk about, okay, they all talk about arrival process. Okay? Okay? So again, you look at letter C, letter E, and letter F, they all talk about arrival process. So the arrival process could consist of groups, individuals, by pairs, okay, by families. That talks about the pattern of arrival coming in and entering into your system. And when you have such pattern of arrivals, it helps you establish letter E. Okay? Pwede mong ma-establish ngayon kung yung pattern mo ay fixed ba, meaning deterministic, or yung pattern mo random, meaning probabilistic yung pag-generate ng arrivals mo. Okay? Yung pag-generate ng customers coming into your system. So again, observing the arrival patterns would naturally lead you to determine whether these patterns are fixed or are random. Okay? And hence, deterministic or probabilistic. And in letter F, it tells you that a probabilistic arrival process can, of course, be described using a theoretical probability distribution such as Poisson distribution, normal distribution, Erlang distribution. The distributions that you have studied in your Eng.1, these are the theoretical probability distributions that may describe a probabilistic arrival process. Okay? Empirical formulas may also be used to describe a probabilistic arrival process. Okay? Empirical meaning from your observations, okay, you establish the formula that relates your that gives the relationship between your arrival, okay, and its occurrence. Okay, yung pattern of arrival and its occurrence, then you'll have an empirical formula. Okay, so not to worry, because letter C, letter E, and letter F all talks about arrival process, and for purposes of queuing theory that we will be studying in this topic, we will be concerned with theoretical probability distributions. Okay? Specifically, Poisson arrivals. Okay? So, yan yung sinasabi ko kanina na we are discussing the different realities no, on how to describe a queuing system. Nasa arrival process pa lang tayo. There are many ways to describe the arrival process. No? Many possible formulas or distributions. Pero later on, we will water this down. Okay? Para mas maliit lang yung scope ng pag-aaralan natin. We will water this down and study queuing systems that exhibit Poisson arrival process. Okay? Clear ba, class?
Yes po for me, sir.
Okay, how about the rest? Clear ba? So, letter G goes without saying that although a stationary arrival process or a fixed arrival process may or may not exist, okay, what we will be concerned of would be all queuing systems that exhibit the Poisson arrival process later on no, in our derivations. Okay, so 1.0 is just about the realities of different possible arrival processes, patterns, characteristics of queuing systems that we have or that we can observe. Okay, let's move to number 2. Okay, 2.0. It talks about the different realities that we can observe when we talk about queuing configuration. Okay, so what is a queue configuration? It refers to the number of queues in the system and their relationship to the servers. Okay, so number of queues. So letter A, sabi dito, in reality, we can actually observe just a single queue. Just like if you have a single ATM machine, everyone will line up. Or if you have a single bus or a single jeepney, everyone will line up, di ba? In a single queue. Now, if you have multiple buses, multiple jeepneys, or multiple ATM machines, then you would expect a multiple queue. Okay? There are many waiting lines. Each line is served by one server. Each line is served by one jeepney. Each line is served by one ATM machine. Each line is served by one officer, one accounting officer, etc. Okay? So, other queues that we can see in reality are, ito, very common, di ba? You see queues physically in one place, no? Sa isang lugar lang. Okay, and sometimes you see queues in different places. Okay, physically, pero in different places. Okay, so usually, kapag ka may physical store ka, tapos yung merchandise mo, you can transact it sa store, let's say online. Then the people, okay, pero yung online, the control is with the service provider. Wala tayong access online. Only they can access yung online inventory nila, for example. Okay, then we see people lined up physically in different branches, in different locations, but that particular service provider has one system only to access yung inventory. So nakapila kayo, okay, may timestamp siguro kung kailan kayo dumating, pero nakapila kayo in different places. Okay? Yan yung ibig sabihin ng physically in different locations. Okay? So you can actually see systems like that. Okay? And of course, another one is abstract, no? Something that you do not see, but a queue actually exists. So when you talk about conceptual queues, have you ever experienced waking up in the morning and then the first thing that comes to your mind is a list of things to do for the day? Nangyari na ba yun sa inyo? Pagkagising nyo, naisip nyo agad kung ano yung dami ng gagawin ninyo?
Oh, yes,
Yes
sir.
po, sir.
Di ba? Lalo na ngayon, no, midterms na, ang dami ng requirements, ang daming assignments, upcoming quizzes, tapos yung participation nyo pa sa org, may mga requirements, documentation, external, etc. Parang ang dami. Tapos kailangan nyo tawagan ito for your term project, kailangan nyo mag-interview. Ang dami, no? So paggising ninyo, naka-line up na lahat yan, yung mga gagawin ninyo for the day. May schedule kayo, yes, nasa phone ninyo. Pero nasa mind ninyo yung mga kailangan nyong gawin. Okay? And tawag dyan conceptual queue. Hindi mo nakikita yung pila, pero it actually exists in your mind. Okay? So again, in reality, these are the different queues that could exist, no? The ones that are common, of course, are the physical cues that we see and that we have become a part of in the past. Okay, yan yung B.1. Okay, ito yon. Ito yung pinaka-common. Of course, ito araw-araw nangyayari yan, pero hindi natin nakikita yung cue. Okay? And then, letter C, a queuing system may impose, just like what I said earlier, may impose restriction on the maximum number of units allowed due to space restrictions or due to server restrictions. Okay? Or due to time restrictions. Nagsiset ka ng maximum. Okay? So, these are the different possible configurations that you can see in reality. Right? But again, for purposes of our queuing theory, yung mga models na i-develop natin, we focus more on the physical queues. Okay? Yung mga waiting talaga in the system. And then we also focus on the number of servers in the system, which we will discuss later on. Okay, ito, interesting ito, queue discipline. Okay? Didiscuss lang natin yung reality. Pero in the end, this is what matters. Okay? Itong binibilugan ko ngayon. That's what matters. Kasi the analytical models do not care about the behavior of the customers joining the queue. Okay? It assumes that customers are patient. Okay? So now, these are the different queue disciplines or behavior patterns that you can observe among people or among customers joining the queue. Okay? So first is bulking. Okay? So you can identify yourself in any of these, no? Bulking is a behavior when a customer upon seeing the queue, ay ang haba ng pila, umalis na. Did not join the queue at all. Okay? Hindi na siya sumama sa pila. Okay? So ibig sabihin lang, it's an inherent characteristic of customers who bulk is really they're not patient. They don't have the patience to wait. Okay? Kaya umaalis na sila upon seeing the queue. Wala silang oras, wala silang time maghintay, etc. Have you experienced that? Yung sinilip mo, pagpasok mo sa bangko or pagpasok mo sa coffee shop or pagpasok mo sa fast food, nakita mo, nako, ang haba ng pila, 15 minutes lang yung break ko, hindi ako aabot, umalis ka na. You didn't even attempt to join the queue. Has that happened to you?
Yes, sir.
For most, I think it should have, di ba? Bulking ang tawag doon. Yung sa behavior na yun, bulking. Okay, next. Reneging. Reneging naman is pagpasok mo sa restaurant or pagpasok mo sa fast food, sa bangko, kung saan man. Okay? Or sa, ang tawag doon, yung kung saan kayo naglalaro ng mga games nyo, sa mga cafes, internet cafes. Pagpasok mo, nakita mo, uy, may pila, medyo mahaba yung pila. So, nagbaka sakali ka, you join the queue, pumila ka. Tapos nung nakita mo hindi masyadong gumagalaw, ang bagal ng service ng mga servers, nainip ka, wala ka nang magawa, biglang umalis ka. So, reneging ang tawag doon. It's a customer who joins the queue and subsequently decides to leave. Nangyari na ba sa inyo yan? Nagawa mo na ba yon?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Di ba? Yung parang nag-alanganin ka, sige, try ko nga, baka naman mabilis lang to. Tapos biglang maya-maya ng konti, tumawag girlfriend mo or tumawag boyfriend mo, halika na, alis na tayo, punta tayo sa kabila. Bigla kang umalis. Di ba? So, reneging yon. That's another queue behavior. Okay, next, collusion. Customers collaborate to reduce waiting time. So, nangyari na ba sa inyo na, let's say, sa supermarket or anywhere na mahaba ang pila, you ask a friend of yours, dalawa kayo, pumunta sa supermarket, pareho kayo may binili, sige, pila ka dyan sa cashier number 20, ako dito sa 18. Okay, mukhang maiksi itong dalawang pilang to, dito tayo pumila. Kapag mauna ka, ikaw na yung next, lilipat ako sa iyo. Pag ako na yung next, lumipat ka sa akin. Papasingitin kita. Nagawa niyo na yun?
Yes po, sir.
Pwedeng sa airport, pwedeng kung
Yes,
saan,
sir.
kahit saan, di ba? Pwedeng sa photocopy machine, kapag dalawa yung copier, di ba? Oh, mahaba yung pila dito. Bilahan natin pareho kung sino mauna. Bigay mo na lang sa akin yung mga papel mo, ako magpo-photocopy, di ba? Collusion yon. Yung customers collaborating, pwedeng magkakilala, pwedeng hindi magkakilala. Nagawa nyo na bang kapalan ng mukha ninyo? Tapos, yung nasa front ng line ng supermarket cashier, hindi nyo kakilala. Eh, isang potato chips lang ang bibilhin nyo, ang haba ng pila. Di ba? Kahit yung fast lane, ang haba ng pila. So, punta kayo sa harap, nakiusap kayo doon sa hindi nyo kakilala, pwede bang isama mo na to sa bibilhin mo? Tapos, bayaran na lang kita ng cash. May 10 pesos extra pa yan. Okay? So, pumayag yung tao, binayaran mo siya, pollution din yun. Okay? But the goal is really to reduce your waiting time. Okay? Yung last example ko, baka mas konti sa inyong nakapaggawa nun. Okay? Kasi kailangan medyo malakas loob mo at makapalang mukha mo para gawin yun. Kasi pumila silang lahat ng pagkatagal-tagal, 1 oras. Tapos, ikaw, pagkakuha mo ng potato chips mo, nakapagbayad ka agad. Diba? Okay. Next, jockeying. A customer switching between multiple queues. Nagawa nyo na ba na ang daming pila, no? So siguro kunyari sa McDo, merong apat na counters na open. Okay? Tapos mahaba lahat. So pumila ka sa counter 1. Diba? Hindi masyadong gumagalaw. So ginawa mo, lumipat ka sa counter 3 kasi parang ang bilis ng galaw ng counter 3 eh. And the phenomenon happens. Pagkalipat mo sa counter 3, yung counter 3 ang hindi gumalaw, yung counter 1 ang bilis ng galaw. Just like when you're driving, di ba? When you're driving, you make decisions, di ba? To switch lanes. So yung isang lane sa EDSA, hindi gumagalaw, yung outermost. Tapos yung isang lane, parang dire-diretso yung galaw, so lumipat ka doon. Pagkalipat mo doon, ikaw yung nagpatigil. Diba? Tapos yung lane na pinanggalingan mo, biglang umandar na. Turn na pala nila umandar. Diba? Nangyari na ba sa inyo? Or even sa doors ng LRT, MRT. Diba? Yung sa platform, diba? Ang dami mo pwedeng intern na doors. Okay? Pumila ka doon sa isang door, tapos nung nag-open na yung door, hindi gumagalaw kasi ang daming lumalabas. Tapos yung kabilang door, medyo clear na, pumapasok yung mga tao, lipat ka naman doon. Nangyari na ba sa inyo yan?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Tawag doon sa behavior na yun, jockeying. Okay? Tapos tawag doon sa phenomenon na kapag lumipat ka, yung pinaglipatan mo, biglang na traffic, hindi gumalaw, yung pinanggalingan mo, biglang bumilis yung galaw, hindi ko alam yung tawag sa phenomenon na yun. Okay? Pero, nangyayari talaga palagi yun. Diba? Okay, so jockeying. So now, you've learned 3 or 4 different terms, no, of how you, as a customer, and how customers actually behave in a queue. Okay? Pwedeng bulker ka, nagba-bulk ka. Pwedeng reneger ka, nagre-renege ka. Okay? Pwedeng nagko-collude ka with other customers. Pwedeng you jockey and you switch from one lane to another in the hope of reducing your waiting time. Okay? So, and then cycling is the last behavior wherein you go back to the queue. Balik ka uli sa umpisa. Okay? Because you've already obtained the service and you wanted to get the service again, then you have to go back to the queue. Cycling yun. Okay? So, anyway, these are the realities, no? Realistic behaviors ito, and all of these are actually classified as impatient customers. Okay? So, again, customers who do not bulk, renege, etc., are said to be patient. So kaya natin kailangan tong slide na to kasi yung derivations natin ng ating mga queuing models, mga analytical models later on are based on the assumption that customers are patient. Walang nag-aaway sa pila, sa parking, walang ganon, no? Ang assumption is pagpasok ng arriving customer, okay, pipila siya, okay, ng maayos. Okay. Next. Okay, next. Tapos na tayo ngayon sa arrival process, tapos sa queue configuration, yung kung ilan yung servers natin, ilan yung pila, tapos na rin, ilan yung pila, tapos ano yung mga queue discipline ng mga customers na nakapila. Next, we move to the service. Kasi pag nasa queue ka na, nasa pila ka na, ang next step mo is pumunta ka na sa mga servers para ma-serve ka. So we now talk about the service discipline. Okay? So kung may behavior ang mga taong nakapila sa queuing system, ang service na pinoprovide sa inyo, meron din certain guidelines at behavior na sinusunod. Okay? And these are what we call the service disciplines. And these are quite common, no? Alam niyo na class kung ano yung first come first serve, di ba? And usually this is the expectation of a customer, di ba? For fairness. Una akong dumating dapat una din akong mabigyan ng service. Okay? So if you have a queuing system that permits first come first serve to be done, then chances are your customers will be treated fairly and therefore they will be satisfied. Okay? So this is the reality of it. Okay? We want to serve those who came first. Pero unfortunately kasi some systems do not permit first come first serve to happen. Example, hindi naman kailangan sa tao lang to, no? Pwede rin sa mga manufactured goods. For example, if you finish manufacturing a product and then you put it or you store it in your warehouse in boxes, syempre, you pile up the boxes one on top of the other, di ba? So, kung ikaw si box, sasabihin mo, oops, ako yung unang natapos i-manufacture today, dapat ako rin yung unang ibigay at i-deliver sa customer. Kung ikaw si box at nagsasalita ka, di ba? Pero because of the system in the warehouse where you pile it one after the other, one on top of the other, then it does not allow first come first serve to happen naturally. Di ba? Kasi naturally you would get anong gagawin mo pagka yung mga box mamibigat, di ba? Naturally, you would get from the top, tama? Tama ba? Kapag nakapatong yung mga boxes,
sir,
kunyari,
parang
four boxes high, for example. Tapos, kukuha ka, kunyari, inutusan kita, kumuha ka nga ng isang box doon, bigay mo dyan kay customer A. You think you would exert, if there's no system in place, that's the assumption, if there's no system in place, you think you would exert effort to get the box na nasa baba? Or yung box na nasa taas?
Sir, yung box sa taas po uunahin.
Wala namang tama o mali, no? Kasi depende yan sa behavior nung tao na nagtatrabaho doon sa warehouse. Depende yan sa behavior niya. Let's assume may mga dates yan, okay, of production. Okay? Pero kahit nakita nung tao yung dates of production na nauna yung nasa baba at dapat yun yung una mong i-withdraw para ma-deliver. Depende yan sa behavior ng tao. And if there's no system or no policy to guide the behavior of people or employees, then naturally, instinct, sa taas. Tama ba? Sa taas yung kukunin mo. Kasi effort yung sa baba . Kasi para makuha mo yung sa baba, kailangan tanggalin mo yung lahat ng nasa taas, then kunin mo yung sa baba, and then ibabalik mo ulit. Tama ba, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So pinakasimple talaga and natural instinct natin is to get from the top. And therefore, that becomes, in a way, kung apat lang yung boxes at yung top yung fourth box, that becomes last come, first serve. Yung last na pumasok, yun yung una mong ilalabas. Kasi that's the most convenient in the absence of a policy. Okay? In the absence of a policy within that system, then last come, first serve is what will happen. Okay? Although, in reality, we expect first come, first serve. So yun yung mga instances no, na nagbabago-bago, no? Yung realities natin, what we observe, depending on the characteristics or the policies in place no, doon sa queuing system. Kaya pa iba-iba siya. Okay? So, another example, syempre, first come, first serve. So, that's the reason why I think most of the banks now, most of the restaurants na, let's say, buffet, okay, meron na silang electronic no, or digital number system, di ba? Kapag kumuha ka nung kapag pumasok ka, automatically may number ka, tapos tinatawag nila yung number by sequence. Di ba? Sa SM, doon sa payment, ganun eh. Di ba? So, bawat payment channel, may number sila, may priority and so on, may number. So, sunod-sunod yon. So, yun, first come, first serve talaga yon. Kung una ka pumasok, you get number 1 and you get called first. Tama? So, yan yung sinasabi ko na different queuing systems with different policies would produce different realities and observations. Diba? So, kapag mayroon kang sistema, kaya mo ngayon i-implement yung first come, first serve. Pero pag wala, hayaan mo lang yung mga employees mo, normally, ang mangyayari is instead of first come, first serve, because of convenience, ito yung mangyayari. Itong dalawa. Okay, yung dalawang yan. Sa elevator, okay, for example, sa elevator, let's say all of you, capacity ng elevator is 10 people or 20 people. The 20th person that gets into the elevator, let's say all of you are going to the 10th floor. Okay? And the door opens on the 10th floor. Who gets out first? Di ba usually yung first na pumasok, ikaw yung pinakaloob, di ba? To give way. Kahit sa train station, ganun din. Sa trains, di ba? Siksikan kayo, sardinas kayo sa loob. Okay? Tapos, forced to go in ka kapag kauna kang pumasok at may mga pumapasok pa, you're forced to go to the center. Such that kapag kalabasan na, yung mga huling pumasok sa previous station, huling pumasok, sila pa yung unang makakalabas. Tapos ikaw, you would have to squeeze your way out of the train na pagsarahan ka pa ng pinto, hindi ka nakalabas. Diba? So, yun yung sinasabi natin, realities of queuing system. So, kadalasan, because of the way it is, wala tayong mga implementing policies, guidelines within that system, yung mga customers nagsasuffer kasi they feel injustice, they feel na unfair kasi huli na nga dumating, una pang na-serve. Okay? So, yung service in random order is the same thing. Hindi lang nga siya naging last come, first serve. Pwedeng nasa gitna siya dumating, tapos siya yung unang na-serve. Kaya random service in random order. Yung mga establishments na walang number system, okay, yung hinahayaan lang pumasok bawat arriving customer. Kunyari, sa Mercury, okay, there are still a lot of Mercury branches na walang number system. So, di ba, papasukin ka lang ng guard, pasok ka lang sa branch, you do your shopping there, or you go to the prescription counter if you have gone to a drugstore. No? You go to the prescription counter. Sa prescription counter, usually there are 2 to 4 pharmacists, depending on the size of the drugstore. No? There are 2 to 4 pharmacists that will be ready to assist you. Now, if you are a pharmacist, wala kang number system, may sineserve kang dalawang tao, no? You're taking their orders, ano yung prescription, ano yung medicine, binabasa mo, you're busy. Hindi mo nakikita kung sino yung pumapasok at dumadagdag doon sa counter. Okay? Hindi mo nakikita yon. So when you're done with a particular customer, in the absence of a system, when you're done, the first person that comes into contact with the pharmacist's eyes, okay, yung unang makita ng pharmacist, yun yung next na, sir, may nagsuserve na ba sa inyo? Anong order nyo? Ano yung bibilhin nyo? Yun yung tinatawag natin service in random order. Hindi na niya alam kung sino yung unang pumasok or kakapasok lang or hindi na niya alam. Basta sino unang niya nakita at random. Kung saan mapunta yung mata niya at nakita niya, oh, wala ka pang pharmacist na nagsaserve sa'yo. Sige, saserve kita. Yun yung service in random order. Na-experience nyo na ba yun? Yung injustice na yan?
Sir, na-experience ko po siya kapag bumibili po ako minsan sa palengke, sa mga market
Palengke.
area.
Yes,
Pag
palengke.
kunwari may mga meat po na
Yes.
binibenta. Minsan
Yes.
kung sino na lang po yung magtanong sa kanila.
Na-experience ko rin yan. Actually, palengke, worse. Supermarket, a little better, pero random order din sila. Kasi lumalapit sa mga meat, di ba? Namimili, pinipindot-pindot yung mga meat kung fresh pa, kung okay pa. Ang daming tao. Tapos, nauna ka na nga doon, tapos yung last na dumating or yung sa gitna, sila yung nauuna kasi nga, pag na-free up na yung butcher ba tawag doon, yung naghihiwa ng mga karne. Pag na-free up na siya, usually nakatalikod siya, hindi niya nakikita kung sino dumarating eh. So pag na-free up na siya, kung sino unang niya nakita at lapitan, yun na yung next na isa-serve niya. Di ba? So ganun yung nangyayari kapag wala kang system. Kaya nga, ang lesson kasi talaga dyan is that we need to have policies and guidelines and establish a system through these policies, no? Para our employees will be able to perform their jobs and at the same time be able to provide fair service to all the customers. Hindi rin naman kasi kasalanan ng employee eh. Okay, wala naman silang favoritism, hindi naman nila kilala yung mga customers. Hindi lang nila alam kung sino yung pumapasok. Okay? So, yun yung mga examples, no? Round robin service is an example would be yung sa mga restaurants na Chinese restaurants na may round table, na may umiikot na lazy Susan. Nakapunta na kayo sa mga Chinese, no? Mga Chinese na students ko. Nakapunta na ba kayo sa mga parties, Chinese parties na laureate ang tawag nila, may laureate, parang may 8 to 10 course meal. Tapos yung bawat course sinaserve one at a time. Tapos kapag na-serve yon, iikot yung lazy Susan. So whether clockwise or counterclockwise, so you have to wait for your turn. Isa-isang customer, round robin yan, isa-serve. Na-experience na yan?
Yes, sir.
Chua, okay. Chinese na-experience na. Pero yung mga iba, pag hindi kayo Chinese, baka hindi pa kayo nakapunta sa mga party or mga restaurants na may, usually mga Gloria Maris, yung mga big Chinese restaurants meron yan, kahit na hindi party, no? Yung Century Seafood, yon, mga ganung restaurant meron yan. Okay, so yan yung round robin service. O sige, para sa mga lalaki naman, para sa mga lalaki, pag basketball ang pinag-uusapan, kaya yung bago mag-start yung game, bakit kaya round robin ang tawag doon sa ginagawa nila pag nagpa-practice sila? Bakit kaya round robin? Teka, aware ba kayo na round robin ang tawag doon?
Ito po ba, sir, yung kunwari pag mag-lay up po?
Yung sa start, di ba? Nagpa-practice sila, nagwa-warm up sila, di ba? Each player, kung 12 players yon, they will take turns, tapos mag-lay up sila, tapos iikot sila, babalik sila doon sa dulo ng pila, di ba? Tama?
Yes
so,
po, sir.
Isa-isa silang mag-lay up, tapos isa-isa silang mag-jump shot, tapos babalik sila doon sa dulo ng pila in a circle. Okay? Kaya round robin ang tawag doon kasi paikot. Umiikot yung bola sa mga players. Okay? So, yun yung round robin. Each player has to wait in that circle until the ball gets to that player. Okay, yun yung round robin service. Okay, I hope that's clear. And then lastly, another service discipline is priority service. And this is already very common nowadays, no? In Mercury and all other establishments, you will see senior citizens, SC, and then PWD, and then yung mga pregnant. Diba? So, we have all of these, what we call priority lanes. In drugstores, in supermarkets, and in almost all establishments, you have priority lanes. So yun yung priority service, no? So wherein you manage the queue of these people by creating a special lane for them. Sa supermarket naman, meron tayong mga priority service for yung mga bumibili na baskets lang, baskets of 10 items or less, or yung mga naka-cart, iba rin yung pila nila, di ba? Yung mga maraming binibili. Or yung mga bumibili for their business, no? Talagang tatlo-tatlong cart ang binibili nila, punong-puno. So, yan yung tinatawag natin priority service, no? Where we segregate yung mga waiting lines natin in order to give priority to certain categories, no, of customers. So, dito naman sa preemptive and non-preemptive, pag preemptive, ibig sabihin, within that priority service, nadi-disrupt yung pag may priority service, nadi-disrupt yung waiting line ng mga customers. So for example, this is prevalent sa mga hospitals, no, emergency ER, emergency rooms. Okay? Or operating rooms. Operating rooms. So ang mangyayari, meron ng mga nakaschedule sa operating rooms. Meron ng mga tao sa emergency rooms, may pila na, okay? So the schedule in itself is already a queue. Okay? It's not a physical queue, but it's a conceptual queue as we call it, di ba? There's a queue. So now, may pila ka na, tapos biglang isa lang yung operating room mo. Biglang merong isang emergency case na galing sa ICU na kapag hindi mo maoperahan within the next 10 minutes, mamamatay na yan. So therefore, all the scheduled operations that can wait would have to wait longer. Isisingit nila itong emergency situation. Ganon din sa ER. Kapag ka nasugatan ka lang dahil nahulog ka sa bike mo and you expect to be given first aid sa ER, tapos biglang may isang pasyente na dumating na agaw buhay na baril, iiwanan ka ng mga nag-a-attend sa'yo para iserve yung nabaril. Di ba? Para bigyan siya ng first aid, para mabuhay siya. So yun yung mga disruptive na tinatawag natin. No? Disruptive siya sa queuing ng mga customers natin. Preemptive yun. Okay? And the non-preemptive simply means the opposite. No? Kapag may priority, isa-serve mo siya kapag may available time na yung server mo. Yun yung non-preemptive na priority service. So if I were to classify these two, yung priority service na preemptive is yun yung mga you stop everything, okay? You disrupt the queue to give service to this priority. Okay? Pero yung non-preemptive is you stop the queue pa rin, pero you wait until matapos yung service doon sa mga customers mo at hand bago mo i-serve itong priority customer na to. Yun yung non-preemptive. Okay? Klaro ba, class? Yes, klaro ba?
Clear, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move. Okay? So next, after the service discipline, service facility naman. Okay, so service facility, I think na-experience na a lot of this, no? So this service facility can have none. Let's say you have a machine that acts as your server. You can have one physical server. You can have multiple, no? Pwede maraming servers. So multiple servers can be parallel or can be in series, no? So ibig sabihin, okay, this is an example of a single queue, single server. Ito yun, single queue, isa lang ang pila, ito yung line ng pila, ito yung server. Pag natapos ka sa server na yan, nakuha mo yung service mo, you depart, alis ka na. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin yan. And usually, kunyari sa Lasal, pupunta ka sa library, you need the assistance of yung staff doon. Pipila ka doon, di ba? Pipila ka to register or even to have your ID scanned. Okay? One line lang usually yan kasi isa lang naman ang server mo eh. Either a machine for scanning your ID or a librarian who is there to assist you. So, isang pila lang yan. Let's say, 4 kayo sa pila. Pag natapos ka mag-scan or matapos mong makuha yung book na gusto mo, alis ka na. Di ba? So, single queue, single server. That's the most common. Next, ito yung mga common din ito. Nakikita nyo ito sa McDonald's, mga fast food. Di ba? Sa mga bangko. Marami kang tellers, 1, 2, 3. Marami ka ring counters sa McDonald's, no? Na nagkukuha ng order at kukuha ng payment mo. Okay? So, multiple queue. Bakit multiple queue? Kasi may pila sa counter 1, may pila sa counter 2, pwede ring supermarket, no? May pila sa counter 3. Pag na-process na yung payment mo sa bawat counter, alis ka na, depart ka na. So, you have multiple queues, okay, and multiple servers. Okay? Next. Ito, single queue, multiple server. Anong pinagkaiba niya dito? Okay, anong pinagkaiba niya dyan? So, have you experienced being in this kind of a system? Service facility? Yes, ito. Single queue, multiple server.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you've been to, wait lang ha. If you've been to BDO across Velasco Building, I think yung BDO, ganun yun eh. Yun lang nga, yung single queue niya, nag-snake yata. Parang nag-snake. Pero 1 queue lang. Doesn't matter, no? Na naka-experience na ba kayo yung nag-snake? Yung parang paikot siya. Okay, nag-snake, nakatayo lang kayo, nag-snake kayo. Tapos, pagdating nyo dito sa front, may 3 o 4 na tellers yan. Kung sino yung na-free up, lalo na sa SM, no, kapag nagbabayad kayo ng mga bills, ganun yun eh. Kung sino na-free up, okay, then, yung number magpa-flash, punta na kayo sa counter 1. Okay? So counter 1, pumunta ka na. Yung next in line, dahil mayroon pang customer si counter 2, counter 3, counter 4, pag may na-free up kay counter 2 or kay counter 3, magpa-flash na uli yung, yung number. Next number, go to counter 3. Okay, punta ka dito. So, isa lang yung pila, pero marami kang servers. So, kapag ka-available ng bawat server, okay, tinatawag ngayon yung tao na next in line. Ayan ang ibig sabihin ng single queue, multiple server. Okay? Ito naman, multiple servers in series. So, isa lang ang server mo kada step. Okay? Each square here or each server here represents a step in the process, in the service process. So, let's say tatlong step yan. Okay? So, sa step 1, let's say, kailangan mo magpa-print ng something, magpa-photocopy ng something, di ba? So, step 1, pipila ka dyan. Pag natapos ka na sa step 1, di aalis ka na ng photocopy machine, pupunta ka na ngayon doon sa, let's say, sa registrar. Okay? Sa registrar, step 2 na yon. Isa lang, let's say, ang server for that particular service. Let's say, nagre-request ka ng document. Okay? So, step 2, pipila ka uli, dyan sa counter na yan, pipila ka, and then pag na-serve ka na ng registrar, okay, sasabihin niya, sige, bayaran mo na yan, yung service na yan. Pupunta ka na ngayon sa step 3, punta ka sa accounting. May isang window na open doon for that service. So, pipila ka uli sa accounting, and then pag natapos ka na, you exit the system. In other words, the whole service is performed in 3 steps, and the 3 steps are in series. And bawat step may queue. Pipila ka. Have you experienced that?
Yes, sir.
Any? Oo, meron, di ba? Di ba ang medyo nakakainis kasi bawat step, babalik ka na naman sa pila. Basically, kung sino nauna sa'yo sa step 1, okay, kung pare-pareho lang naman yung process nyo, siya rin yung nasa harap mo sa step 2. Siya rin yung mauuna. Pero, ibig sabihin, kung 15 minutes ang waiting time mo dito sa step 1, depending on the processing time ng bawat step. At least 15 minutes din siguro yung iintayin mo dito. No? So for the whole process, baka 1 oras na yan. Diba? Depending on the service time of each step. Okay? So yun yung ibig sabihin ng multiple server in series. And the more complex service facilities would have multiple servers. Ayan, no? Marami kang servers, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Both in series and in parallel. So you can have a single queue. Okay, pila ka dito, and then tatawagin ka ng next available server. Okay, so pag natapos ka na dito sa first step, okay, na nakaparallel siya, okay, exit ka, and then lahat ng mga umi-exit from server 1, server 2, server 3, magko-converge yan into another queue. Pila ka na naman. Tapos, naka-series ngayon ito at saka ito. Naka-series yan. Step 1, Step 2. Basta kapag naka-series, magkaiba yung service na pinaprovide ng service provider. Pag naka-parallel, ang assumption natin, identical service. So, identical to, identical ito. Okay? Ito, magkaiba. Yung 1, 2, 3, tsaka 1, 2, magkaiba yan. Okay? So, pipila ka na naman, papatawagin ka dito, patawagin ka dito. Pag natapos ka, you depart the system. Tapos na yung service mo. So we call that multiple servers both in series, naka-series itong dalawa, and then naka-parallel ito, saka naka-parallel yan. Okay? Both in series and parallel. And these are just some of the configurations, no, ng mga service facilities natin. Marami pang iba yan na ma-observe nyo in reality. Okay? Again, let me go back. Ang dami natin pinakitang service discipline dito. Pero, ang pag-aaralan lang natin at ang major assumption natin sa queuing models natin dito sa queuing theory is we will just study what we call GD, General Discipline. Okay? So, General Discipline. Meaning, walang any particular discipline ang pinagbasihan ng derivation ng mga queuing models. I would assume na first come first serve ang ginagamit nila kasi yun yung pinaka fair at pinaka common na dapat ginagawa. Okay? Okay. So lastly, just itong CDE, just to tell you kung ano yung direction natin in the next meeting, in the next 3 meetings natin, service times can be deterministic or probabilistic. We are actually going to assume that the rate of service provided by the service providers or the servers is probabilistic, following a theoretical distribution. And to be specific, pag service kasi, ang pinag-uusapan natin, how long, gaano katagal na provide ni server yung service. So we talk about service time, and we will assume for the derivations of the queuing models, we will assume exponential distribution. Okay? So maglalaro lang yan, yung arrival rate, ang assumption natin sa queuing models natin that we will be studying in the next meetings, Poisson distribution, lahat yan galing sa Eng.1 nyo. And then yung service rate is also Poisson. And since you've learned in Eng.1 that the service rate and the service time are just inverse of each other, and there is what we call a Poisson exponential relationship, then the service time is said to be exponential. So ito lang yung mga assumptions natin when we derive the queuing models later on. Okay? So the rest, not so important na. Ito pala, importante ito, dependent state parameters. No? Cases where the parameters are affected by a change in the number of units in the system. Ang pag-aaralan natin moving forward are those that are time and number of customers independent. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, when you, let's say, one parameter that we have in our service system, of course, is yung service time natin. Yung service time can be affected or becomes probabilistic or can be affected by different factors. Okay, one of them is time. Kunyari, time of the day. If peak time, let's say, ng isang restaurant o ng isang bangko, tapos server ka, normally, the anxiety slows you down. Okay? So pag may mga ganyang parameters that are affected by a change in the number of units, dumadami yung customer ko. And therefore, natataranta ako, bumabagal ako, I get affected. Hindi natin isasama sa analysis natin yan. Hindi natin isasama sa derivation ng queuing models yan. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, we will just assume that our queuing system has already reached a steady state and therefore, yung behavior, yung characteristic are all stable. Okay? Stable na sila lahat. Hindi na sila dependent kung ang dami ng customer. Like for example, you would again wonder bakit kapag pumupunta ka sa doktor for diagnosis, lalo na sa mga bata, mga babies, no? Ang haba ng pila, no? Pumunta ka doon ng 6:30 AM ng umaga, ang oras ng doktor is 7 to 12. Pumunta ka ng 6:30, matitignan ka ng doktor 10 o'clock na, 10:30. Iintay ka ng 4 hours, the very least. Diba? Pero pumunta ka ng 11 o'clock, dahil magto-close na ng 12 o'clock, ang nangyayari sa service time ng doktor, per customer, per patient, bumibilis, umiiksi. Okay? Kasi magla-lunch na siya. Kasi pupunta na siya sa kabilang hospital para doon sa next clinic naman niya. Nafe-feel nyo ba yon? Pag malapit ng closing time, kahit saan, the government, kahit na nagre-renew ng registration ng kotse, okay, normally you'd wait 2 to 3 hours. Pag pumunta ka ng hapon na, yung malapit na sa closing time, 1 hour tapos ka. And you would now wonder at the phenomenon, no? Kasi sa morning, ang service rate or service time ng bawat government employee, ang tagal, ang bagal nila. Pero pagdating sa hapon, pag malapit na closing time at uwian time, ang bilis ng bawat customer. So kung pumunta ka ng hapon, ang waiting time mo, effective waiting time mo is less kasi ang per transaction service time mas mabilis. Okay? So again, letter D, ang sinasabi natin, we will not be concerned with parameters that are dependent or are affected by a change of number of units in the system. Kaya marami ang tao sa system, kaya konti ang tao sa system, it's the same service time distribution. Okay? Kaya umaga, kaya hapon, kaya closing time, it's the same service time distribution. Okay? That would be our mindset and our assumption as we study the different analytical models in the next